This is just a random recording. I just so happened to be watching some a video by a YouTuber named Yellow Flash 2, I believe. Um, and I'm a subscriber. I watch some of his videos sometimes, and this is interesting. It's about Ice Cube. How this headline from the Washington Post. Ice Cube once rapped about arresting Trump. Now he's advising that president on policy plans. See, and I just was listening. I didn't like verify his sources or whatever, but Yellow Flash is he seems to be very on it and um, and not misleading people. So I trust his sources and judgment in that regard. The interesting thing about this is so Ice Cube goes to the Democrats, um, Biden or whoever, maybe his people, and they tell him, "Hey, I'll help you after the election. We'll talk about policy. We'll talk about your initiative to help the black community. Um, it's been historically disenfranchised." Um, and Trump also believes Trump also, to some degree, believes in that there is systemic racism. By the way, so yeah. But anyway, so the Democrats had that reaction towards his initiative that they would help him after the election, which to me sounds like, hey, I need your support now, but what I'm telling you is that I'm going to help you later, um, but not really. I'm just putting that out there as a possibility of what could happen, but probably it's not going to happen because I'm going to get busy or I'm going to say I'm busy and so forth. I want to just sweep that under the rug, but I do need your support, so I'll give you that. I'll give you that wish list, that possibility that it could happen. But again, we see Trump. He entirely and completely and quickly is right there with them. Says, okay, let's get something started, and actually puts forth a certain amount to see that this initiative, that this policy, that this stuff that Ice Cube is speaking to is going to get done. So what does that mean? What does that say? To me, what that means is that Trump is a doer, and all the people who talk negatively about him in terms of, especially this whole narrative of him being racist and him not doing anything for black people and all this other stuff is a lie. It's not true. It's just simply not true. If he's willing to work with Ice Cube, and mind you, people are very class based, very caste based. They unconsciously conform to a caste system, and based on your status, based on your work, based on what you do for a living, based on your past, they judge you by that, and they will deem you to be a certain way, and they will project upon you, and they will suggest that what you've done is suggestive of your character and of your level of existence, and they may say they will help you, but then they won't really because they look at you as being underneath them, beneath them, not being as valued as they are in their eyes or as the people who they surround themselves with. But as you can see, and Trump may have some of that too, of course. Of course he does. He does a lot of things that's awkward and strange and weird and it's not anything to celebrate. This is not me as an individual. I'm not coming from a point of perspective that I'm a big Trump supporter. I'm not a supporter of any man on the planet Earth because we are fragmentary and divided, and we are identified, and I put no support in the individual on this earth. Um, I don't even put support in me because I can see the mechanicalness or the sort of the division, dividedness in me. Um, One says one talks about ego and so forth. Like I could see that aggregation of different parts in me that has these desires and these wants and whatever. The difference is I can see all of this. I have a practice that gives me the possibility to be open to these realities in me, and I don't try to shun them or try to destroy them, which is impossible to me. I try to make peace with them and see them as they are and be open to it. So to me, it's important to be with the ego, not to give into it, but to really um, see it for what it is. It has a place as it interacts with the world. So all in all, I'm saying is that I am flawed too, and if I don't have utmost confidence in myself with respect to how I do things and move in life, then I'm not gonna look at an individual as a stranger in any sort of greater light than I look at myself. To be honest, I'm just gonna apply what I see to myself to others, really. Um, and Trump is not a perfect individual by any means, and there's a lot of contradictions and there's a lot of silly things that he does. But when it comes to getting things done, and when it comes to people who call him racist or says, oh, he doesn't care about black people and all this other stuff, like if you look at his policies and you look at what he's willing to do, and he's willing to sit at the table with comedians, people who were just in their past comedians like Steve Harvey, um, and even like a Kanye and an Ice Cube. Like he's willing to sit down with these people. Trump never wanted to sit down with like a Kanye or something like that. They have their agendas, and maybe he did. I don't know completely entirely, but I know that he would not have sat down with Kanye, but most people wouldn't, but Trump would. And the thing is that he's actually making an effort, and if you look at some of his policies, he's always made an effort towards the black community in a certain way. So, and this is just one more example of that, and and you can see the reaction of Ice Cube's fans towards him working with Trump. But it's like, what is he supposed to do? Wait till after the election to get things done, to get things started? For what? Why can't we just do it now? This is, which is like basically lowballing him because he's or just saying, we'll do it later, as if he's like a nobody. But if it was somebody they respected and they looked at it a certain way, oh, they would do it right immediately. So that's just my opinion. I just saw this and decided to bring this up, and there it is.